Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So welcome back to another Life in Paris, my tips for living in Paris, my views on living in Paris type of video. I'm not sure what to call these types of videos, they're just kind of like my views on living in Paris. So in this video I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Paris. So in total I lived here about 8 months now, which might doesn't seem like a lot to some people, but I feel like even in this short amount of time I had the possibility to see various sides of Paris. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, but I feel like since I'm a student here, I'm more involved in like everyday life as well. I feel like I'm in the middle of like everything. I feel like I see how like people my age are kind of reacting to life, what their views on life. So yeah, I just feel like I've seen a lot of Paris, even though I didn't live here for that long. I like watching these kinds of videos, so I hope that you will find this interesting as well. And yeah, before we start, just please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out a lot. Let's start the pros and cons of living in Paris. Okay, so my first pro of living in Paris would be the fact that it's beautiful. I say this a lot, but seriously, Paris is a beautiful city. Even if not every area is like that beautiful or clean, Paris is still a really beautiful city. If you're someone who gets inspired by the environment you're living in or the buildings, the architecture around you, move to Paris. It's so inspirational. The buildings are just so beautiful, the architecture is so beautiful. It has a really artsy, chic kind of vibe. It's really, it is beautiful. You cannot deny it. I know it's a well-known fact, but still, I think it's a huge pro for living in Paris. It's just really beautiful. Every street has kind of like a really different vibe, a really like unique vibe to it. So the fact that it's just so beautiful is the biggest thing for me, the biggest pro for me for living in Paris, I think. On the other hand though, one of the biggest cons is the fact that it's so expensive. I'm not really sure how expensive it would be compared to like New York or London. I've never lived in those cities, but it is extremely expensive, especially apartments. Apartments are hard to find and they are expensive. Also, eating out is also really expensive, and I feel like it's so sad because you can do so many things in Paris. You cannot really reap the benefits of the city if you don't have the financial means, unfortunately. So yeah, definitely one of the biggest cons is that it's really expensive. Even for like a normal menu at a restaurant, you will probably pay around like 15 euros and you will not even really be full with it. So it's just, it's sad. But yeah, Paris is extremely expensive, unfortunately. On the other hand though, if you're a student here or if you're European and if you're under a certain age, Paris does have a lot of discounts for students, for young people. So even though some things can be really expensive, you can still have a lot of discounts if you're under a certain age. Paris actually has a lot of exhibitions and concerts that are for free or that are not that expensive. On one hand, sometimes events are so expensive, but on the other hand, sometimes events are just like for free or like a lot cheaper for students. So if you fall into a certain category, you will have a lot of discounts. So it's kind of weird. I feel like Paris is like, it's good for some people. I have friends who live here who are not European and I cannot even imagine. I'm just so grateful that I don't have to go through all those types of like procedures that they have to go through just because they're not from the European Union. Like honestly, if you're European, it's so much easier to live here. I mean, it's still expensive for us too, don't get me wrong, but yeah, you just can get a lot of discounts. Or even if you're a student, you can get a lot of discounts. So yeah, but I feel like you can always find some events or exhibitions that are for free or that are not that expensive. So don't think that, oh my god, like you come here and if you don't have enough money, you cannot do anything fun. That's not the case. There's still many things to do. I feel like you can always do something fun to do here. And on that note, the next pro of living in Paris would be the fact that it's a multicultural city. You will never be bored here. There are so many people here. Paris is a city that gives home to a lot of people from all around the world, people from all countries, from all nations. It's great if you are interested in meeting foreigners and if you're interested in getting to know other cultures. You cannot really be bored here because there's just so many people to get to know, there's just so many things to do, so many things to see. You can always do something here. Nightlife is also great, I would say. Just interesting to meet people from all around the world and like hear their stories and like hear their point of views and their views on life. I think it's just really interesting, so I really like living in Paris for that reason. On the flip side, it is super crowded. Paris is just crazy crowded. There are 10 million people living here, so you can imagine 10 million people is like the population of my whole country. I feel like you get used to it by time, but still it just can get annoying. Like honestly, even during the rush hour on the metros, it's like it's Hunger Games. There's just so many people and they're not considerate of each other at all. If you're someone who doesn't tolerate crowds very well, or if you get anxious in public, maybe Paris is not the best city for you. I mean, you can get used to it, but it's just, yeah, it's still overwhelming sometimes. Also, because there's so many people here, it is kind of dirty. Paris is definitely not a clean city. It is really dirty, to be honest. Yeah. I wanted to say something positive from all of that, but I cannot really. That's just a fact. You will have to consider these kind of things if you want to move here. Okay, so the next pro, which is also a con at the same time, is the transportation system. The transportation system is great if it's working. If it's not working, then it sucks. You can get to anywhere you want to go with the transportation system, but at the same time, there are a lot of times strikes or delays, train delays, metros don't work, something happened, an accident happened, I don't know. These kind of things happen every single day. Every single day I have classmates who come to school late because of problems with the transportation system. So it is great because you can go anywhere you want. There are like 16 metro lines or something. You don't need a car here, that's for sure. You don't need a car here. It's just so much easier to use the metros, to use the buses, to use the trams. But at the same time, when all of these don't work, it sucks. And that happens often. Trêve nationale. Transportation is great if it's working. If it's not, then you walk. Actually, another pro is that Paris is pretty walkable, I would say. I mean, it's huge and sometimes you really have to walk big distances if the metro doesn't work, but you can walk. You can also just like enjoy the architecture and the cityscape, but when it's December and it's like 5 degrees, then probably you prefer to just take the metro instead of walking. I guess, I'm not sure. Maybe you like walking, then come to Paris because sometimes you will have to walk. Okay, so the next con is the weather. I just looked outside. I just looked out of my window and I was like, oh yeah, the weather. It's gloomy here. It was actually not something that I was expecting, but Paris is a gloomy city. It's strange because usually they say like London is like this rainy, gloomy city, but honestly Paris is not that much better, especially during the winter. It's like gloomy every single day. It's just recently that the weather has gotten a little bit better. Spring is coming and all that, but yeah, from like October up until January, I didn't see much of the sun. I didn't see too many sunny days. So if you're someone who gets affected by the weather, if you're someone who needs a lot of sunshine in order to stay happy, Paris might not be the best city for you. It is a gloomy city and also there is no winter. It never snows here. It's just raining. You can get used to it. I feel like I'm getting used to it by now, but still it's just, yeah.
I miss the sunshine so much.
Moving on. And so the last con of living in Paris is, I kind of feel bad that I have to finish up on a con. So the last con would be the fact that it's not really a safe city. I'm sure that it's still safer than a lot of other places on the planet, but still I cannot really say that I feel safe here, especially when I'm coming home late. When I go out and then I come home late, I don't really feel safe, and sometimes I do have to kind of not run, but I walk really fast from the metro station to my apartment. So yeah, Paris is not really a safe city. It's not every single area in Paris, but I feel like you always just kind of have to like be on guard and like watch out and just like be smart, but not just in Paris, like everywhere you are, just be smart. Yeah, just be on your guard and you will be fine. It's not just Paris, like everywhere you are, just be smart, especially now, it's like crazy time. Just be smart, guys, be safe, and yeah, you will be fine. I think this is the end of this video. I don't really have anything else to say, maybe just the fact that Paris is a city like every single city on the planet. Paris has a lot of positives and negatives to it. It's not just Paris, it's every single city on the world. No place is perfect. Paris is not perfect either. It is good for many reasons and it is bad for many reasons, and it's fine. That's all I wanted to say. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and just again, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you liked it, and yeah, I will see you soon. Bye!